like a pro.
That's what you thought.
Hey y'all, and welcome back. Y'all have to excuse me for today's video, y'all. I'm just a little bit under the weather, but we gonna get through this. So today, this is my client Oschia, and she's been with me for a couple of years now, y'all. I've been doing her hair for a good little minute. I actually met her while she was at work. She was waitressing at the time, and I just came up to her off the street and asked her if I could do her hair, and she was like, okay. Like, literally, that was our conversation. So we've done a couple different hairstyles, and she just pretty much lets me experiment with whatever I pretty much want to do. And when I tell you, she has the most beautiful hair. I mean, it's beautiful, it's long, it's thick, it's healthy, it's everything. I mean, she has some hair, and it's really easy to manipulate her hair because she doesn't do anything to it. So it's pretty much always in a good, healthy state. But y'all, she done brought me a task, and this girl and sent me this picture talking about she want to cut all her hair off. And I was like, wait. Hold up now. What you mean? Cut all of it off? You gonna save some of it? No. She wants to chop it. So that's what we're gonna do today. And y'all have to bear with me because I was a little shocked as I was doing it, but just what she wanted. She said she was, making some changes in her life. And hey, that's what we do when we or making changes in our life. First thing I want to do is touch that hair. And y'all be coming up in this salon talking about I need a new look. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute now. What kind of state are we in? I got to understand, because if you ain't ready to rock whatever you are asking for, sometimes, you feel like it's one of the worst decisions you have ever made. But she was ready though. See, Oschia, she was ready. She was very much so ready. So she sent me this picture a couple months ago, so I said, okay, girl, fine. Bring her behind on in the salon. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's just knock it out. So y'all, the haircut that Oschia chose to get is really just like a curly cut, just a really short kind of cut, like a all even, but it's not going to be low to her scalp. She's going to have about maybe 2 inches of hair, somewhere in there. But she wanted to just get kind of like a low, just curly cut, and she just wanted to grow it all back out. And her hair is going to grow pretty fast anyway, and it's not because of rice water. It's not going to be because of Chevy powder. It's not going to be because of her standing on top of her head. It's not going to be because of any of those things. It's going to be because of her DNA and her genetics. Oschia hair just grow like that. Her hair just grows, and it grows fast. It grows long, and hey, that's the first variable you working with when you're talking about hair growth. I don't care what you do or what products you put on your hair or anything like that. The first thing you up against is your DNA. If your hair don't want to grow past a certain length, it ain't gonna grow past that length. It's just not. So that's how she's gotten her hair this long thus far. And hey, as long as her DNA and genetics say her hair is gonna grow, it's gonna grow. Now, there's things that she has done to help retain her length, such as getting it trimmed. Not as often as I would have liked her to, but I've already given her a spanking for that. But when I send her a text and say, hey, you need to come get your hair trimmed, she's like, okay, I'll be there. And she comes and we trim it. And it's normally when I'm getting ready to do like a big transformation, because I normally use Oschia's beautiful head of hair for my portfolio, just because it's so easy to do her hair. But I have other cases where I have other models and stuff too that it has been a challenge. But when I need specific portfolio work, I normally would go to her because her hair is very versatile. I can pretty much do just about anything to it. So Today, none of that matters because she's cutting it all off. And I said, you ain't gonna let me color it red or nothing? She was just like, I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I'm like, I was sitting in my stomach. Like, I gotta put a little dressing on it, but not today. Maybe she gonna come back so I could do that. But nevertheless, y'all see we just chopping away, just chopping. And then once I got done cutting it, I was like, dang, like your hair is still long. We still not done. So I had to go back in and cut it again. And we just kept cutting it and shaping it and rinse and repeat until we got it right. Now, I know some people might be afraid of doing like the big chops and whatnot. And hey, I understand. I mean, I ain't never had no big chop done on my hair. The shortest I've ever gone is a bob that was like to the base of my chin, maybe the base of my neck, maybe. But definitely wasn't longer than that. But I feel like a big chop, that's subjective. Because what a big chop might be to one person might not be to another. Like, some people may have long hair, may have never had a bob. Well, if your hair is down your back and you cut it into a bob, I feel like, hey, that's a big chop. It's a real big chop, especially if you ain't never had your hair cut. And everybody has different feelings about cutting their hair, and I'm sensitive to them all because some people are attached to their hair in different ways. Some people not at all. Some people cut it, grow it, weave it, sew it, whatever. And others are just like, I don't do anything to my hair. I just want it to grow. And I'm very sensitive to both ends of the spectrum because it's your hair. It's your life. It's, people are who they are. And so I just try to honor people's requests the best that I can to my skill level. And if I can't do it, then I won't. But if I can, then I try to provide as much information about the change that people are requesting so they can be sure that they're making the best decision for themselves. So as y'all can pretty much see, I am kind of using a variety of different tools and techniques to cut her hair. And reason being is because when you go from long to short, there are a few things you have to keep in mind. One is texture. When people's hair is long, sometimes it can camouflage problem areas, but when it's short, that requires a lot more detail simply because you have to take into consideration cowlicks, the way the hair grows at the scalp. Sometimes people have different tufts of hair that just are adamant about going different ways. I have a client, she has a pixie cut, and at the base of her neck, she has this god awful, stubborn cowlick. It don't matter how much Nairobi foam I put on the hair, it's not going down. So I had to start molding her hair up and over, like literally. I have to mold it up and around because that's how her hair grows out of her follicles, and I can't fight that. That's just a battle I'm gonna lose. So that's something I have to be and keep in mind when you're going from long to short and when you are playing with shorter looks, because as you can see, a lot of these little pieces of hair that Oschia has, especially around her hairline and even some in her crown, they are just persistent on growing the opposite way. So I have that does play a part in how the hair lays. It plays a part in how you cut it. You can't cut everybody's hair the same way when you have short hair. So I'm using some long shears. I'm using my shorter shears so I can go in detail. I'm using clippers to just make sure it's all the way even. I'm using 7-inch shears. I didn't pull out my thinning shears. I didn't have to do that, but I definitely had to pull out my guards. I had to pull out the kit, y'all, because we got to get it right. And I said, hey, we're going to go back to the shampoo bowl. We're going to rinse it and blow dry it. And we're going to just keep getting it right until it looks good. And then once it curls up, she's going to lose a lot of length. So I had to keep that in mind as well, too. Alrighty, y'all. So now it's time to style her hair. I have completely wet her hair down, and I'm just using some foam and a little bit of wet line gel, just to give it some shape and give it a little bit more control and hold. And I'm gonna lay her edges down too. But she can also use whatever kind of curl pudding or gel or anything that works for her hair. She's going to start playing with some different products. I did send her home with a few recommendations that she could try, because we're going to be trying a few things until we find something that works for her. But in the salon, I had some foam, and I knew that would pretty much do the trick today with a little gel. So I'm using that, and I actually used a little bit too much, so I had to get rid of some of it. But her styling for her is going to be pretty easy. She's going to be a huge fan of the wash and go for the next few months. And when it gets to a certain list, she should be able to do like twist outs and just kind of just twist it. But I'm just kind of just doing some comb twists, just kind of just twirl it around to give it some texture and kind of define her curls that she has already. But in addition to that, she can also, she can use a sponge, and that'll help to kind of give it even more texture. But I don't really do a whole bunch of big chops in the shop. Most of the time when I'm working, people are trying to grow their hair. So I do have my select clients that have pixie cuts and whatnot, but they're not getting sponge curls or natural curls and whatnot. But Oschia, that's what she wanted today, and I did not have a sponge, so I just kind of freestyled it with my fingers. But nevertheless, it turned out beautiful. It turned out really good, and I told her, hey, we're going to be on a mission to kind of just train your hair. This is new. You've never had your hair this short before, so you're going to see it react and respond in a total different way than what you're used to. And that's okay, because it looks good, it fits her, and I'm excited to see how her hair grows and the kind of look she's going to play with from this point. All right, y'all, so we just about finishing up Oshia's haircut. Yes, I feel like she was going in a state of bliss, happiness, confusion, wow, just being surprised all together. I feel like she was experiencing just a combination of emotions. And, you know, I can only imagine, but sometimes when we have hair that has been with us our whole entire life, sometimes when you want a fresh, clean start, when you cut your hair off, you know, it does something to your soul, to your spirit. And I feel like that's what she is experiencing right now. And I was like, it's going to take you some time. You've never cut your hair. She's never cut her hair, y'all. Never. So, well, at least in something of this facet. So I said, you know, give yourself some time. You're going to have to play with it. You're going to have to learn how to live in it. You're going to have to learn how to dress it. Be patient with yourself and figuring out how you want to look in your new look. And I feel like she's there now. So by the time she left the salon, when I felt nerves and whatnot, by the time she got out and she started sending me pictures and stuff, I said, okay, well, hey, she's arrived. She's here. So she came out. It came out so good. I'm so proud of her. So make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Happy New Year, y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching my content, and I'll see y'all next year.
Girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm not gonna do it, girl. I was just thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I did it.